We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positive. We are positively in Ocean City, Maryland, not Wicomico County, Worcester County. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I have the Pressure Lux and the Lucky Sevens doublers. It is our 27th anniversary. We are out on the road celebrating my 27 favorite things to eat. And Wicomico County Executive Julie Giordano back on the program, Republican of the not this county, but when I drive here on 50 and I get right around the chicken factory and the stadium,
right in the heart of it.
I see Wor-Wic.
Yep.
And it confuses me sometimes to which one is Worcester and which one's Wicomico. It helps me to know that Salisbury's in Wicomico, and I know Chrisfield's in Worcester, so I'm thinking like Ocean City's in Worcester, right?
Right. Ocean City's in Worcester and Chrisfield's in Somerset.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn,
I know, it's all confusing down here. We're like the Tri-County area down here.
Marylander. I mean, I've been to all these places, but I see Wor-Wic, and that's a community college, right? So that is a combined county effort. Is that budgeting-wise? Is it like sort of both of you that contribute in?
We do, and actually Somerset is part of that as well, but actually we are one of the biggest contributors to it because we have the most students. So it's really based on students that come in.
Okay.
So we serve the most, so we give obviously the most funding. So.
Well, that's just the thing I see when I drive down. Anybody that drives Ocean City would see that, and I'm like, okay, it's two counties, but what is it? And it's a community college. So
yeah, it's a community college, and they're actually doing big things. So later on, in hopefully like 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a stadium because we're bringing sports to Wor-Wic Community College. So we're one of the few community colleges that doesn't have any sports, and so we'll have the Wor-Wic Dolphins.
The
Dolphins. Go Fins. Yeah. So I took a couple classes at Wor-Wic, but yeah, so they'll be the Fins, and so we're excited. Their new president, who's been here for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, but she's amazing and such a big advocate for sports. So yeah, so we will have Wor-Wic sports soon.
I hadn't thought about it. I went to Dundalk Community College.
Yeah.
That's Community College of Baltimore County, Dundalk now, whatever. We're the Lions.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But we were the Mighty Owls in high school in Dundalk. So you grew up in Salisbury?
Catonsville.
You're a Baltimorean.
I am a Baltimorean, yep, originally.
Did you go to Catonsville High?
I did, so I went to Mount DeSales, but I went to Catonsville Middle School.
You were a sailor.
I was a sailor. Yeah, I was a Comet for 1 year, and actually then I went over to be a sailor for that last
off
3.
of Bloomsburg, or Bloomsbury.
Yep.
What brought you here? I mean,
School. So
Salisbury.
I went to Salisbury, and then I ended up staying. I met, the guy I was going to marry, and that didn't really work out. But I ended up staying anyway. Sort of fell in love with the place. It's a slower pace living. I love my family's right in the heart of Catonsville. I can still go back, and if I want to, sit in traffic on 695, I'll go and do it to see them. But
little Julie moved off to Salisbury.
I did, yeah, and it's great.
How long have you been down here?
Oh gosh, 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been quite a bit. So.
But you're in education, right?
I was.
Yeah, your background's. I mean. You're in politics now, but it came from a link in education.
Yeah, it actually started as a marketing and PR degree, and then I sort of morphed that into education, and I went and got my teaching certification, and I did that for 17 years, and now I'm a awesome politician.
What kind of teacher were you?
English.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so I taught 7th grade, 8th grade, and all the way through 11th. So I was teaching American Lit when I was elected.
All right. What was your favorite class to teach?
I really liked 10th grade English. Like, I thought the curriculum was great. It was a lot of
Is that Catcher in the Rye?
No, it was Lord of the Flies.
So 10th grade for me, we did Steinbeck, and we did like Catcher in the Rye.
Okay.
Think to Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh,
Harper
yeah, well,
Lee,
great.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Catcher in the Rye is my favorite. It was 10th grade that I read it and did my piece. So that's why when you said like that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's going on in Wicomico County that I need to know about, other than I made a stop in my 27 favorite places yesterday?
What was it? Where did you stop?
Well, the first thing, I had the Secretary of Kindness on the program a few years ago in Salisbury, and she brought me pie from the Ugly Pie.
Ah, yes.
And this is when the Ugly Pie, I was doing a show at Mogan's, and the Ugly Pie was right downtown across from like the factory where Purdue, the employees used to park there. And it was a little bit of a cluster kind of getting in and getting out, get my pie back then and my cookies. And then they moved a couple, 3 years ago to the east side of Salisbury. And I just, I don't take the bypass road anymore. I come old school.
Okay.
I come right through the tattoo parlors, the liquor store where I used to get the ice on the right side, the Arby's that always has the shakes. Was that your school there, little Salisbury, like elementary school on the right there across the way?
No. I taught it, when I was elected, I taught at James M. Bennett. So we were kind of more of the interior. It was a brand new school. So, yeah, we were more.
This school
more
looks
inside.
like something out of a movie set, that Salisbury, that downtown school
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean, that's regal. Looks like it's out of a movie set.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
So I went to Ugly Pie yesterday.
I think JFK spoke there. Like, that's how old that school is. Like, Wicomico Middle, that's like right off Route 50,
That's
that like
it.
brick building. Yeah. Yeah, we've had it's actually next on the list to be redone. So they actually won't tear down that building. They'll just move Y Middle to another location, and they're going to repurpose that building because, it's got a lot of historical aspect to it. It's beautiful.
Looks like it's got character.
It does, yeah. And so they're going to keep that downtown, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of the downtown Salisbury charm of the zoo and all the other things.
Yeah.
But I like food. I mean, for being a skinny guy, thank you, Planet Fitness. So I stopped by yesterday, and they have this thing called Death by Coconut.
Oh, gosh, I've never had it. How was it?
I'm still alive, but it's delicious.
Yeah, their creme brulee pie is like one of
That's
my
your
favorites.
thing?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I mean, I love a lot of the things they do, but it's definitely a staple at my Thanksgiving table at least. We at least do it for Thanksgiving. I don't want to do it too many times a year, but anytime we do a birthday in the office, we're always swinging by Ugly Pie. So
last night I went to the Maryland Tourism Commission party, and I'm an idiot. I raced down here. I even raced through the pie company. I raced through Hooper's Island and all this to get down there thinking this thing started at 4, and I showed up at 4:02, and they're like, it doesn't start till 5.
Oh.
So I was over like 65th, 66th Street, the Holiday Inn. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Well, there is a beach. I didn't do that first. I'm like, that little grocery store across the street, I'm going to go over there and check that out. And I walked over, and I walk in the grocery store just sniffing around because I'm a grocery store sniffer. I eat with my eyes. And I wasn't really hungry. I was just looking around, saying maybe some blueberries for breakfast tomorrow. And I went over to the dessert thing, and they had the Ugly Pie. They had the Death by Coconut. It was $16. It was big. It was a big old pie. It wasn't the little thing I got. But, they're selling it. I mean, that place must really be doing well because, I could have bought the pie an hour later in Worcester County if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I love seeing regional, local. I mean, that place has love, but that's small business. And Salisbury's built with that. Your county's built with that,
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. And I think that we do a really good job at really, that type of thing is, supporting the small businesses within the community. We had a local baker who was making the Smith Island cakes for Fratelli's restaurant. So I really think that our county does a good job at really supporting one another.
I've been to Fratelli's. I've had their crab cake.
Yeah, it's
They're
pretty good.
Essex people.
Yeah. Oh, all
They're
right.
Baltimore people.
You know what? I did know
They're
that.
Greek
I did know.
Baltimore folks whose daughters went to Salisbury, and the parents said, we're going down there.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
they
go
sold
down
the diner in Essex 25 years ago and moved to
Okay.
Salisbury.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's another Wicomico County success story.
There it is,
Julie
yeah.
Giordano's here. She's the county executive. So, for a smaller county, and when I go up to Carroll County, they don't have an executive; they have a commissioner. I don't know how many counties don't have executives. You're considered to be. I don't know the difference in the job. What's important in Wicomico County?
Yeah, so right now, I think the biggest thing is a big focus on our airport. So we are getting a new airline. That's the first flight will be coming in October 1st. So that is Breeze Airline, and they will be flying from Salisbury right to MCO in Florida. So we will have a direct flight to Florida. Right now, we only have Piedmont that goes to Charlotte and Philly. And so now we'll have this direct flight to Florida. So we are hoping to really keep a lot of that economic development and commerce, so we're not losing them to Southwest, going out of Baltimore. So we'll have people that are going to be flying out of Salisbury going to Florida. So that's huge. We're excited about that.
How do you grow an airport?
Well, we've been working. So one way is we have the runway extension. So that was a 7-year project that my administration was able to bring across the finish line.
Okay, bigger planes.
Yep,
All
bigger
right, I'm
planes.
learning. Keep
Yep.
going.
So we've got bigger planes, another airline coming in. And then the other thing is we noticed that there is such a shortage in airplane mechanics, aviation mechanics. And so I signed over. So Governor Hogan, before he went out of office, gave the Tri-County $3.3 million. So I signed that money over to SWED, which is Salisbury Wicomico Economic Development. And they worked with UMES,
Sure.
HBCU. And we started an aviation maintenance program at our airport. And literally the ribbon cutting will be September 17th. So we have a cohort of 25 students that are going to go through. It's a 1-year program. And when they get done, they will have their A&P license. so they can go right to work, or they can go continue at UMES and continue their education and get an aviation degree. And it's unparalleled to anything in the United States.
My cousin's an aviation mechanic.
Oh, cool.
Out in California. It's what he did with his life. I don't know anyone else I've ever met in life's walk other than my cousin Gene.
Yeah.
He was the tech for the Otis Spunkmeyer planes.
Wow.
Out of Oakland, California.
Very
This
cool.
20 years ago, and they flew all the cookies, and then he was the tech for. The senator from Feinstein, aging senator, her and her husband, he flew their planes.
Wow.
Didn't fly him, I'm a pilot, but pretty important. I mean, I've been on a million planes and never thought, hey, who tightened the bolts on this joint? You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. So we knew that there was a need for it, and so we are going to end up hopefully saving, aviation up and down the entire East Coast, and really even over to Middle America. So, and when you have a partnership with an airline and a county and an HBCU, I mean, it's just such a perfect marriage.
So we're saying their colleges don't teach that.
Yeah,
right?
well, UMES has an amazing aviation school, so you can become a pilot, you can major in aviation and do more like the business aspect, and now we're adding the technical side of it. So you can become somebody who can fly your own plane, do the business aspect, and you'll be able to fix it as well.
Well, Jewel, I'm going to learn AI and just fix everything. That's it.
There,
I'll fly my own plane.
There you go.
For you with Ocean City and Mako and coming down here and fighting for your little turf and your piece of your county. How many residents in your county these
104,000.
days? Now, how does that stack up around? Is that the 10th, maybe 8th or 10th? Maybe less than that, right?
Yeah, less. Like we're pretty comparable to Cecil. They're at 107.
Okay.
So we're definitely on the smaller ends.
Okay.
I mean, we definitely are on the smaller
Well, there's
ends.
23 plus 1, so you're probably in the teens, I guess, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
What does that mean to be a smaller county and fighting for your piece of the turf? I don't know what to say about that, but you do have a big town. Salisbury's a big town.
It is.
I mean, as far as the state goes, I had the mayor of Frederick on, Hagerstown, towns that aren't Baltimore or like that, or Towson or whatever, right?
I think what's important is when you're from the smaller town, you're louder, your voice needs to be. And what's lucky for us is that you were talking about Salisbury. We have Mayor Jake Day, who is now Secretary Day. So we have an advocate at the state level already. So we have him kind of fighting for Salisbury and, kind of has a place in his heart for there. So, and we capitalize on that. And, right now being, a Republican, with a Democratic, governor, Wes Moore and I get along. You know what I mean? We find that common ground. He loves economic development. He loves everything we're doing at the airport. He's going to be at the ribbon cutting. And I think that he appreciates that bipartisan relationship. And I think that both of us understand how important that is. You have to be able to get along with the other side. In my situation, not only do I have it at the state level, but I have it at the federal level. I have Andy Harris and then I have 2 Democratic senators. So, you have to figure out common ground and figure out how you're going to work. And I think that the governor and even in the legislature, they understand how hard we work. We are constantly trying to do things here, and we can figure out ways to find common ground and work together to make Maryland successful. So
I mentioned AI, and the last 90 days, I honestly been taking a deep dive. I mean, I'm giving it the respect it warrants and deserves, and what it's going to give me back out of it. I still, and it's been years, and I come down here, I cross the bridge, and sometimes my cell phone works, and sometimes it doesn't. And the further you get off of 50, the worse it is. I don't even tell you live down here.
Yeah.
AI doesn't work without Wi-Fi. Let's start, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Education, home, work, Zooms, business. I can't drive into town and sit somewhere where there's Wi-Fi to have a meeting, and it affects who can live in your county and where they'd want to live. Where are we with that? I mean, I was going to get Cornbread on, but he's all running around with the governor.
Right.
But you mentioned Governor Moore hiring Republican people. I mean, our mutual friend Carl Anderton, who couldn't be with us because he's with the governor.
Yeah.
But
they're doing ribbon cutting and important things.
But he's doing rural help. And he was telling me what he's doing in St. Mary's County and all that stuff. But he's one of your people, Wicomico County person, getting things done. I can't imagine the other challenges you have with whatever. Transportation, poverty, maybe not crime as much as we have in Baltimore, but the Wi-Fi thing from a city guy, it frustrates the hell out of me, not because I can't send a text. It frustrates me because I think these poor people live down here and they can't even get on the internet of life to get all of the things that it provides and doesn't provide, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But I think from an educational standpoint, I'm frustrated by it. I can't imagine if you're down here as a citizen, maybe you take it in stride. Maybe you just don't. And maybe I take it for granted, right? Just that it always works where I am. Because it always didn't work.
Yeah.
But I want it to work because I think it's a movement forward for humans,
Yeah.
for population. I think it's an important thing for you to have in modern life. the
Yeah,
internet.
so we have worked really well. So we have Talkie Communication that has utilized a lot of federal grants, state grants, that they're kind of putting the Wi-Fi in the underserved areas, making sure that there's broadband access on our east side of our county. We have been working with Chop Tank on the west side of our county, so we do have it. We're moving forward. But I will tell you, there is one location, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's down like by Boonies and down all the way down Nanacoke Road. We have the Red Roost, which is a pretty famous crab
hold
place.
on a second. That place, everybody tells me about the fried chicken there.
It's delicious.
I've been told that if I go there to get the fried chicken.
You need to go there, and then you need to go to Bull Lips, which is the bar that's like right outside, and you can pull a boat up.
I've never been. It's on my list.
We got to take you down there. Yeah.
I mean, I could show you my Google Maps, and you'll see all the stars of places that I mean to get a crab cake at.
Yeah.
But I've done the crab cake tour 2 years. I did the 30th anniversary, 31st anniversary of my career. I'm on my 34th now. This year we're doing 27th of the station.
Okay.
And I'm doing my 27 favorite things to eat. We're doing Fisher's Popcorn tonight. So you can tell Worcester County, I got them too.
Yeah.
But the crab cake thing, I couldn't do them all. And the first year I did Fratelli's. The second year I did Mogan's, right? So, I mean, I've had a crab. I mean, it's just time. Red Roost finished third. And it was because, like, somebody said to me, go there for the chicken, man. And it's a crab place, right? It's a real,
all
it's
you
more
can eat.
crabs than it is crab
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
As far as what it's famous for.
Right. But anyway, down that way, there is no cell service. Like, you hit a point in time, and if you have Verizon, you can forget it. And I know my director of administration and we worked so hard with Verizon. It has taken 2 years, and they are finally going to be putting a tower down there because it's also a safety factor. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going down there, with my phone, and you literally have to drive, 15 minutes the other way to make sure that you have cell service. So we have been working with Verizon.
In other words, you couldn't call 911.
Yeah,
Let's start
I mean,
with
you
that,
have to have a
right?
house
Yeah.
line. But with some of the other problems, too, that we're having is you will have larger companies like Verizon say, well, the density isn't there, so it's not worth us putting a tower up. And I'm like, but you do know that other people may move there when they have the cell service. So, like, it doesn't, and there are people there now. So it's been kind of a, a struggle with them. But they are willing to do the tower down Nanacoke Road, so we're happy about that. So we are working in that direction to try to get people served with broadband and making sure that there's cell service. So.
What problems you have? I mean, you mentioned good things going on. What are you trying to solve?
Yeah.
Other than the airport, I mean, that's a great story.
Yeah, no, the airport has been amazing. Some of the bigger things that we're tackling are trying to do a good balance between, what's coming down from the state, and then you've got your federal government too. So they're kind of, got two different ideas of what's going on, and what we
Well, you're
need
in a
to
blue
do.
state. The creep in the White House ain't going to help you. He's not.
Well,
He's just not.
yeah,
I don't care if it says R in front of you. He doesn't like women and he doesn't like blue states. So,
Yeah, well, we have Andy Harris too. So I think when we're trying to tackle the federal government, we typically go through his office. And
Never met him.
Yeah. You never met him?
I don't know. I don't think I want to meet him, but if he stopped by, he could sit here. I mean, he's running things.
Yeah.
He could come on and tell me some lies if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I would call him lies, though, but that's
Yeah.
where it is. But, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
But what does he do for you?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because I don't ever hear anything he does that I would say, that's good, including being accountable as an elected official.
Yeah.
But, like, say something good. You're a Republican. Say something good about it.
Yeah, no,
What
I
does
mean,
he do for you?
There's a lot of good things. So right now he's working on a solar situation. So I think the state got a little advantageous with a bill that they did, which is going to really harm my county when it comes to solar. We're about renewable energy, but
So am I. I'm sponsored by Gordian Energy and Cole Roofing.
yeah,
so I
no,
want that.
we're good for that. But the problem is that right now we're looking to where the state has control over like 9,500 acres in my county to put solar. And so that's not something that we're interested in. We want to have solar, but we want solar where it makes sense for us. We don't want to have, our planning and zoning completely removed from the conversation. Like, we need to be having those local conversations. So I feel like the state has an idea of what they want to do. And when the counties push back, they sort of seem to be like, well, we're going to do it anyway, and this is how we're going to do it. And so we're really trying to navigate that. And then, of course, we had the federal change, so we're looking at that. But on a more local level, I would say some of the big things that we are trying to tackle are, like we're working with education. Education is a huge thing. So my county is one of the only counties that actually has to serve every student. So we don't have like a Kennedy Krieger or a, Shepherd Pratt or something like that.
Specialty schools.
Specialty schools, we don't. And so we have to have a population of so experienced teachers that can teach every child.
So if I have an autistic child in Wicomico County or anywhere that's more rural, man, that's just something I wouldn't consider. Like, my wife had cancer 12 years ago.
Right.
Being a mile and a half from Hopkins was a big part of why she's still alive.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Literally,
yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. So we, I think, are doing an injustice for our kids in our county. So we're working with Kennedy Krieger, we're working with those agencies saying, you need something on the shore. We cannot have children separated from their parents to have to go to school to be successful on the other side of the bridge. So we need to bring those services here. So we're kind of working on that right now, which is a huge ordeal. But we really want, I do have to give our school credit because they do teach every child and they do it with grace and compassion and try to figure out the best way. But we also know that our teachers are not going to be specialized in every single thing. And so our kids deserve better. And so we're fighting for that right now.
Well, spoken like a true teacher.
Yeah. There it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Julie Giordano here. She is the county executive at Wicomico County, never to be confused with Worcester, although I always confuse it, and I always forget those poor people in Somerset. And Danny Thompson's going to be pissed at me because he's going to come on.
Hear this.
He saw me last night. He's mad at me. Well, I went down to Smith Island, and I drove through Blackwater Refuge yesterday. I went down to Hooper's because great crab cake down there at Old Salty, so I went down and I added them to my 27 because I think it's not even just about Old Salties, and this would speak to your county and the Eastern Shore in general, is that getting off of 50, and I've been saying this since I got old, since I turned 50, and I did the crab cake tour, getting off of 50, not only do you realize the Wi-Fi doesn't work, and you see challenges that we don't have in Dundalk,
right.
but some of the other same challenges we have, but just the beauty of the Eastern Shore and the beauty of Blackwater. And I drove from Blackwater over toward Vienna on the back roads, sort of Harriet Tubman Trail.
Oh, it's beautiful back there.
I just can't fathom, and I put a status up when I was down there. I took a picture right where the T is, where the Harriet Tubman Museum is, and where the visitor center for Blackwater, a mile apart. And it's in the middle of this beautiful, it's 10 minutes south of Cambridge, like literally drive down, and when you get there, you will feel like you're in another part of the world.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really look like New Orleans or lowlands. It does. It looks a little like Vietnam. It looks like you could grow rice there, and there's water and marsh everywhere, birds. But on a beautiful day, or even on a little bit of a cloudy day yesterday, I just find the Eastern Shore to be one of those, I haven't explored it enough. I mean, I've been all over the world, but I hadn't spent enough time. And I feel that way about Western Maryland, too, whether it's Deep Creek or Swallow Falls or Rocky Gap and the mountains and the streams and the fishing you can do out on the western part of the state. But the Eastern Shore, for most city people, Baltimore people, most people are like, I ain't never heard of it, but the people that have been there on my time are like, oh my God, don't let the secret out. People will show up.
Yeah.
But it really is, and you're 20 minutes away,
Yeah.
and it's just a beautiful area.
It is. It really is. And it is kind of a well-kept secret. We have a couple of those in Wicomico County down off Cove Road and these little beaches that people go to.
I think that Red Roost place would be that would be beautiful down there, I would think, right?
Oh, it is. It's wonderful. I mean, it's right on the water. And then, like I said, they have their tiki bar that's right outside. That's amazing. Boats will pull up and they can grab a drink and go.
If I go, I'm calling you in cornbread.
Yes, we're going. Yeah, we love it. We love it down there.
I think maybe next year when I come down from Mako, I always do it's my anniversary month, so I'm always doing something fun and different and weird. I may circle back and get some crab cakes at places that I haven't been.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it now. It's like, all right, it's one more place I ain't never been that I got to get to.
Yeah, and it's not even just the food, too. It's the experience. Because you're driving, you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to the ends of the earth as I'm driving down here, And
I felt that way driving to Crisfield.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You're passing the cute little town of Whitehaven, and, you're getting, so it's you can head down that way or you head down to the Red Roost. So it's an awesome location, and I think you'll really enjoy yourself.
Catonsville girl comes to the Eastern Shore, never leaves, runs Wicomico County. So when's your term end, and how are you allowed to do more?
Yeah,
are you happy with your job? Are you miss teaching?
Yeah, of course. I miss it. I miss kind of having just responsibility of four walls as opposed to a whole county, But, so I'm in my first term, so my term will be up next November. So I am running for re-election. I don't have anybody who's filed against me just yet, so we're kind of waiting to see what happens there. I'm sure I'll have an opponent, but for right now I don't, and so I'm kind of utilizing
Can a Democrat win in your county?
I think it would be really...
In Salisbury, a Democrat can win it for mayor,
Salisbury, yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, we have a Republican mayor right now,
Okay.
so they split the vote, and it was like a whole big thing. But, I think it would be really hard for a Democrat. I think that you would have to be a very moderate Democrat, so it wouldn't be anything like very left and liberal. I just don't think it would really fare well in the majority of the county. But I do, they would have to thin a very, thread a needle. But I think it could be done. I mean,
Why do you think you won?
I think I won because I worked hard. I went out and knocked thousands of doors, and told people, like, I want to make a change. I want to make a difference. I can get us across the finish line on all of these things, and I feel like I've done that. So I, proved to the people, like, I just want you to give me a chance. We've had a stagnant government. We've had a stagnant executive right now, and so we need movement. We need, and it doesn't matter about the R or the D at that point in time. It's about, are you going to fulfill and are you going to do the best things for the county? And I feel like we have done that, because it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat when you're, doing the extension to the runway, when you're doing better things for education, when you're paving roads, when you're, figuring out ways to successfully spend your cannabis funds, from tax revenue and putting it back into the community. It doesn't matter if you're an R or D at that point. You just want to see your county thrive. So
why did you run? Were you upset about something?
Yeah, I was upset. I was upset at the way that our government was moving. I felt like we were stagnant. We weren't doing the things that we needed to do. I felt like, things needed help. Our public safety needed help. Our education needed help. They needed somebody who was going to be an advocate. And I felt that, being a teacher, I've taught over 1,500 kids, and I was like, who better to support them and figure out how to make Wicomico County better than somebody who has seen it on the front lines. You see the struggles. And when I was teaching 11th grade, these kids were 1 year away from being out in the world. So are we doing the very best job at preparing our kids? Do we have enough jobs? Do we have enough opportunity? And that's one of the reasons I was so supportive of the school, because you don't have, not every kid's going to go to college, and that's okay, but let's provide, trade opportunities. Let's make sure that we're providing the opportunities. And so it was a lot of different
You never
things.
had any political aspirations. You were going to be a teacher your whole life,
Yeah,
right?
I was happy doing
You're going
that.
to be a teacher, or were you going to be a principal, or was you
had
more
thought-
a management track like
Yeah,
that?
I had thought about it. My master's is in administration and leadership, so I had thought about that track. I just really loved being in the classroom, and a couple times I had interviewed, it just didn't really work out, which was okay. It was, I was meant to do this, so that's okay. But I think at the end of the day, my love was really in the classroom. So, but anyway, I was okay. I was content. And then when this opportunity came up, my husband, I talked to him, and he said, God bless him, he said, I will not be married to a loser. He said, so you better go out. If you're going to do it, you better do it 150%, because and he's like, and I know you will regret knowing if you look back and you lost that there was other things that you could have done. And I won the primary by 279 votes. So every door that I knocked mattered. The contacts that I made mattered. So.
Well, and also you've educated all these kids who now can vote in your county. And I would think a lot of them didn't move away.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And the cool thing was that the kids that I was teaching at the time got to see me sworn in. I invited them to I actually had the swearing in ceremony at the auditorium of the school that I taught.
You were a teacher when you ran.
Oh yeah. I was literally
I keep
teaching.
thinking like you've never had another job. You like, okay, so you ran as a teacher. Okay.
Yeah, I ran as a teacher. I literally was teaching up until December. I was sworn in December 6th. My last day was like that Friday before.
Well, there's no big track for government in Wicomico County to step up to be the county. Right? There's not like in Baltimore where you're like, I'll help out a campaign, then I might run for a council, then I might, like it's more of a stepping stone thing.
Yeah, I still think it was supposed to be. Like
to go from a classroom to run in the county is
it's unprecedented. No, it really is unprecedented. And honestly, my original goal was to run for council, but at the time, you were still considered a county employee as a teacher, and so county employees can't be on the county council. But now that there's like some court debate out in Hartford, because teachers really are state employees, they get state benefits and everything else. So now there's this debate, should teachers be allowed to run in county government because they're state employees, they're not county employees. But that's, they're trying to duel that out in court right now out in Hartford County.
Well, I would think educators would make good executives in regard to government. Being educated is really important.
No, I think so too, and I think that they're patient, and there are things, I learned resilience, because you have critics, of course, but I'm like, look, I taught 17-year-olds. Like, if you think you all are rough, like, I had 30 of them.
Staring at me.
Yeah, so, and I had to entertain them and keep them, occupied. So this is, that part, was a little bit easier. It taught me resilience and that it's a new day. You know what I mean? You can't let things bother you. You're going to make a decision. You try to do the best you can, and, it is what it is, so.
All right, next time we get together, you're going to explain, even though I've been a professional writer all my life, and you're going to explain subject, verb, noun one, noun two.
I can do
back
it.
to predicate. You'll do all that for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, as an English
Dissect
person
sentences.
and as a lifer writer who has AI now to help me.
Or diagramming sentences.
Yeah, but like, I still don't get over your, and there, and there. You know what I mean?
We'll do those.
And apostrophes. Ravens doesn't have a damn apostrophe between an N and an S. What's wrong with you people? Possessives, man.
Yeah. So they're
I learned
tricky.
this in 8th grade English, and I didn't even have a teacher as good as you.
There's a town in my county, and I won't say it now, but they don't even call them apostrophes. They call them high commas. I found this out. So I don't really know what that meant. I was like, a high comma. They're like, yeah, you know the thing. And I'm like, oh, you mean an apostrophe? Okay. So, we've got some work to
that.
high commas. Yeah, that's what we do.
Cornbread?
No, it wasn't. We'll say it was. Yeah, it was Carl. Yeah.
I'll get Carl Anderton on, my buddy from who's now working for the governor. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I was just saying, somebody came by, one of my dear friends, Joe Enoch, who works for Coal Energy, and who's over at the Gordian solar area. And, I've known Joe's been a listener for 35 years, probably since the beginning for me. And we were just talking. He lives down here in Worcester County during the summer. He lives up literally 2 blocks from where I live. And we were just talking about, like, my transition to Baltimore Positive and all that. And he's like, how's it going down here? You're going from going to Super Bowls to doing this. Because I did this at the Super Bowl for 27 years, 5 days in a row, 10 hours a day, and my little sweatshirt, and Hall of Fame football players, and, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I like this better because it's, like, local people, and I feel like we're talking about local things, not necessarily esoteric things. But I like the people I meet because I just get treated better than I ever got treated by athletes.
Oh.
I don't expect all you politician types to like me or like all my questions they're not even cheap shots for Trump. They're just, he's the worst human being ever. So I'm sorry he has an R in front of his name for your purposes.
Well,
but if he does anything to help you, God bless you. I don't say. But the state of modern politics is so divisive, yet I don't feel that when I'm at things like this.
Yeah, no,
I really don't.
No, and I think that everybody sort of like works together. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know how politicians are. They'll be on the floor and they're grandstanding and doing their thing, and then behind the scenes they're having a cigar or having a drink. And I think, like, I had a reception last night at Spain Wine Bar, and the treasurer's coming in and the secretary of MDE and my Republican colleagues, and you see people just like working together and like, hey, how can I help you? That sort of thing. So I think at the end of the day, people really do want to work together.
Has that been better than you thought as a politician? Maybe you were a teacher 10 years ago, like, oh, man, politics, Yeah,
I would say, I think it's important. It depends on you. I mean, you can be sitting in this executive role or whatever role in leadership and be divisive. You can be. I mean, you can sit here and cause a whole bunch. But for me, it's not beneficial. And I will tell you, Carl has been so monumental in that. Carl's a Republican, but Carl can get along with anybody. And Carl will show you the importance and the value of relationships. And I think that's why he's so good at his job and why the governor really tapped him and said, you're going to be the best person for this. I want that connection with those rural counties, typically Republican counties, but I want that connection. And so he has the ear of the governor. So when there are priorities, it makes me feel like I'm not left behind. You know what I mean? That I am, important, and that, they're not going to, that we're heard. So it's important. And so, like I said, Carl is really great at that. And that is one thing that I will say that he has taught me, that you don't have to be divisive all the time, and that you're in a situation where it can only benefit you to work together, and that's where we're at. So
I hope you get your Raising Cane's soon.
Oh, yeah, me too. It's supposed to be coming.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's supposed to be coming, yeah.
I ran into Cornbread.
We're getting a crumble cookie. I found that out.
He won't mind me telling this, I don't think, but I ran into him in Vegas at the Maryland party late at night. I was leaving the hotel to go, and which ran into on the pathway, and, Mayor Scott was getting killed by Fox 45 up in Baltimore for just being there, and, like, you're on a junket. You're at a nice... You know why you're at a nice hotel? Because that's where the business owners go, right? So we're out there in Vegas. He's like, I'm trying to get a Raising Cane's for my community. And I thought, well, that's a humble little thought about a small town on the Eastern Shore, and it's a fast food chicken joint, right? And we got one in Towson, and there was a line around the corner and, like, all that. But I went to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania the other night to see the Black Crows. I'll be down here at the beach in Worcester County seeing them in a couple weeks. But I went up, and I went through Allentown, and I just happened to be going through the middle of Allentown. Probably not a dissimilar town to Salisbury or other towns like that. And there was a Raising Cane's. It was like this deluxe Raising Cane. It was a quarter. It was like a whole development. It was like the center of it. It clearly was a thing. And I'm like, all right, so 2 points for Cornbread and for Salisbury, or for anybody that is doing development and bringing in a chain, a business, an ugly pie, an airport, whatever you're doing to make the world better. That's like what I'm counting on you to do when I vote for you.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we
bring some jobs.
Yeah,
bring some prosperity.
Yeah, we've worked hard. I mean, I think one of the things too that was really lacking also in my county was they don't really advertise it. We don't have impact fees. We your planning process. St. John's property is now building. Literally from the time they came down to visit to a shovel in the ground was 1 year. In Prince George's that would have taken 5. And that's not a knock at Prince George's. It's just we are business friendly. We are moving the ball forward, and we want people here. We want you to to come
You
here.
want to grow.
And we want to grow, yeah. So we're going to figure out we are going to remove that red tape to get you here. We want the development. We want people here. We want jobs. So, yeah.
A little house on the road in Salisbury. You
Yeah.
know? You're not going back to Catonsville, are you?
No.
You're done?
I'm here for life. Yeah,
You're a shore
I'm
girl
here.
now?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
She's a shore girl now.
Oh yeah. I figure after 25 years, they still say I'm a come here. I'll never be a from here, but
Now, here's
it's
the
okay.
weird thing, right? Like, for me, I cross the bridge and I get excited. I even get excited when I cross the chicken coop in the stadium in your town. And I'm like, I'm getting 20 minutes away. We're getting closer,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going east. And you see the road open up a little bit. But I wonder, I really, really wonder if I made a life in Salisbury, how often I would literally come down here and pull my stuff out of the back of the car and hit sand. It was all I could do to walk from one end of the Holiday Inn to the other end and take my shoes off last night just to get in the water. But I love the beach, but I wonder if I'd live closer to it.
If you would do it, I think once you're here, you end up like we probably visit the beach during the summer like 2 or 3 times. But then after the tourists leave after Labor Day, when it's still warm in September, that's when you see us. Yeah, we're coming down because it's cleared out a little bit. So.
All right. Keep
Well,
Wicomico County strong and make sure I never call Worcester Wicomico, except if we're talking about community colleges, right? Joey Giordano is the county executive for Wicomico County, never to be confused with Worcester County or is that a happy?
That's my purchasing agent.
That's your happy Wicomico County people.
Yeah.
Well, you're close to home down here. We're at Mako. We're in Ocean City, Maryland. Lucky Sevens, as well as our Pressure Lux. We have our 27th anniversary featuring Wicomico County's very own Ugly Pie. Maybe I should get them on and get a little recipe for how to make a good crust or whatnot. I will be eating that delicious crust. 27 foods, 27 days, all my favorite things. The hashtag, you'll like this, tastiness.
Oh, I like it.
Tastiness, yeah. Well, my mayoral campaign that I never ran was togetherness.
There it is.
So if your name was Ness, you'd have it.
I'd have a whole slew of things.
What was your campaign?
Active local leadership.
Well, you're active, you're local, and you're leading.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
So I've lived up to it, yeah.
Togetherness. Here,
yeah,
away we
there
fly.
It is, yeah.
All right, we're back for more in Ocean City. We got the mayor of Ocean City coming on. We also have the mayor of Frederick coming on. We have the former mayor of Hagerstown coming on, who's now the opioid czar. Our senator Chris Van Hollen will be coming by as well. Odette Ramos, a whole bunch of people, city council people. Mayor Scott's coming by tomorrow. All good things from Ocean City. It's time to go drink. I'm at Mako. Back for more in Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.